Welcome to the Inject Creativity Live Chat-show. This 30-minute webinar is live on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. And your comments and questions via these platforms are most welcome. Please keep them kind and respectful. Following this event, you are welcome to join us via the Blue Jeans online conferencing app for a 1-hour NESA-accredited workshop with our guest presenter. Now, here's your host, Dr. Tim Kitchen.
Well, thank you very much, Rob, and welcome to the Inject Creativity Live Chat-show being recorded via Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the Adobe Apac in Education Facebook group. We're recording this live on Wednesday, the 9th of September, 2020, and I'm your host, Tim Kitchen, Adobe's Senior Education Specialist for the Asia Pacific region. Before I introduce my amazing co-host, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. We respect and honour Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders past, present and future, as well as all Indigenous people from the lands we reach out to during this event. We acknowledge their stories, traditions and living cultures. We acknowledge them as the first peoples in our lands, the first scientists and the first creatives. And we commit to building a brighter future together. Let's introduce our amazing co-host, Erin Rathke from TAFE Queensland. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Hey, Tim. I'm doing really well. How are you keeping this fine spring evening?
Going fine. Look, St Kilda did have a win, so that's probably why I'm fine. I'm a bit worried about tomorrow, though. When we organise the Apple thing that we're doing tomorrow, the all things, what is it, Adobe and iOS, the AFL programming hadn't been established and there's a clash. Like my team are playing tomorrow night and I'm running an event tomorrow night. And I thought, no, that's fine. I can actually watch the last half of the game after the event. But then I got invited to this thing I have to do for Digital Learning Teaching Victoria, which will run right through to the end of the game. I mean,
it's a travesty.
Well, as long as they win for me.
Yes, well, that is the main thing, isn't it? And I guess you could always watch it on catch up and just go la 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 la. If anybody tries to tell you the final score, avoid all news broadcasts.
Yeah, not going to happen. Hey, another highlight for this week, or since I saw you last, was I ran a 1-minute video challenge, which is something that we do reasonably regularly with schools around Australia, and of course doing it virtually. You can see me on the screen there in the background and all the kids. This is a New South Wales school, obviously, because it's not a Victorian school. You know, they're not at their classrooms. But it was a great day, and what I'd like to do is just play for you a video that was made by the teacher who is watching this too, by the way. He said he'd come and watch the live show just to see his kids in action, and he put together a little video about the day. How cool is that?
That is so awesome. It's amazing how much more dynamic and aware kids these days are about video production compared to, like, I'm feeling the age gap right now, Tim. I'm feeling it hard.
Oh, you don't look it, Erin. Trust me. Hey, if you go to timkitchen.net, I've done a blog about the day, and you can actually see the students' work. You can see the winning 3 videos out of the day. It's just exciting to see what students can actually achieve in a short space of time. The whole event was based around the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, and so we had a lot of education that happened throughout the event, as well as collaboration and creativity and problem solving. It was one of those perfect days. One of the things that people say to me after a day like this is, why can't school be like this every day? And I say to them, because the teachers would be just exhausted every day. But
what a fantastic compliment, though.
Yes, absolutely. So that was a bit of a highlight of my week. How about you, Erin? Did you have any highlights?
Well, I've actually been doing a bit of training delivery myself this week, doing some professional development with some of our admin and teaching staff. So again, really great, but also you get to the end of the day and I'm like, okay. The other thing I've been noticing is the Adobe for Education channel has been dropping a lot of really great videos about universal design and online teaching techniques, which I've been trying to have a little bit of a sneaky peek at in my spare time in between things. So that's been really interesting.
Always worth having a visit. Erin, what else have we got on for the chat show?
Well, for the chat show, I'm looking forward to introducing everyone to our special guests, Adobe Education Leader Michael Turner from Mitchell High in Sydney, and our regular education consultant and recently appointed Adobe Education Leader Paul McClean from New Zealand.
Well, we will be celebrating that fact very, very soon, and we'll be meeting and finding out more about Michael and Paul in a few minutes. Helping us moderate and doing a lot of the techie things behind the scenes is my wonderful colleague, the legendary Adobe Customer Success Manager, Mr. Jerry Wong. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, everyone. How are you all going tonight? Well, I'll be moderating the chat tonight, so please post your questions, make comments, and let's make this chat show really interactive.
Thanks, Jerry. Note that we're getting the chat feed from those of you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, but not always from Twitter. So if you're joining us from Twitter and you'd like to potentially have your comments or questions posted and published by us during the chat show, you may want to jump out of Twitter and jump into Tim's YouTube channel using the link bit.ly/YouTube-Tim Kitchen.
We'll be continuing the chat during the deeper dive event at the top of the hour, where we'll be crossing to bluejeans.com/kitchen.adobe to see our special guests in action.
And remember, the more you contribute, the more interactive these sessions become, and we really do value and enjoy your comments and thoughts, so get involved.
Erin, are you ready for the Spark Challenge video?
Well, folks, I hope you're ready for this week's Spark Challenge.
Nice intro, Rob. The Spark Challenge for this episode is to create 2 Spark posts based on 2 things that you've learned that you could apply in your classroom. At least one of those 2 things needs to be from the chat show, and the other one of those 2 things needs to be from the deeper dive. So you can choose any template or layout at any size. So let's start creating.
All right, let me just jump to my screen and jump into Spark so you can see what we're talking about. I've already logged in, and of course, if you've never logged into spark.adobe.com before, you'd need to log in either with your school account or with your Adobe ID or your Google ID or your Facebook ID or your Apple ID. So there's no excuses for not having access to Spark, but preferably if your school has a Creative Cloud account and an enterprise agreement with Adobe, go in with your school account. And of course, that's really the only way that students under 13 can access because all those other accounts require you to be 13 or older. Now, once you've logged in, if you click on the little plus symbol below the Spark logo on the top left-hand corner, it gives you access to all the different things that you can create with Spark. We're working with Spark Post today for the challenge, and Post is virtually all of these things except for web page, which is Spark Page, and video, which is Spark Video. So I'm going to choose Flyer because that's one of the Spark Post options. And what I wanted to highlight during this little intro now is just to have a look at all of these amazing templates that appear for you. So rather than starting from scratch, like I often do on the stage here, and bring in some text or photos, why not actually start with something that looks pretty cool on the template? I might just grab that cute little puppy dog. And so now if I click create, I can rework all of the graphics that are already there provided for me, change the text, and just rework that template into whatever it is you're wanting to communicate. So remembering that the Spark challenge for tonight is to create 2 Spark posts, one based on something that you've learned during this chat show, and the other one based on something that you've learned and can apply in the Deeper Dive event. We're looking forward to seeing the results. Just make sure you do click the share button at the top right-hand corner, generate that URL before you bring it into the chat in Blue Jeans. Otherwise, we won't be able to see it. So we're looking forward to celebrating your Spark posts this evening. All right, what else is happening? Let's have a look. Adobe Max, let's have a chat about that. That's happening coming up very soon. Adobe Max, the Creativity Conference, usually a very expensive event in Los Angeles. This, for this year, is a virtual free event to be held. When I say virtual free, it's actually really free, and it's virtual, to be held from October 21 to 23 for the Apac region.
As the Adobe Max website says, make plans to join us for a uniquely immersive and engaging digital experience guaranteed to inspire.
There will be 3 full days of luminary speakers, celebrity appearances, including from, are you ready for this? Keanu Reeves. There'll be musical performances, a global collaborative art project, and 350 plus sessions, all at no cost.
So you can register using the QR code on the screen or visit the Adobe Max site at max.adobe.com.
And take note of the special education streams that are available. Erin, one of our special guests has actually been physically to the real Adobe Max event in Los Angeles. We'll find out a little bit more about that soon, but can you please introduce our guests for this week?
No worries, Tim. It's my great pleasure to introduce Adobe Education Leader Michael Turner from New South Wales and Paul McClean from New Zealand, who this week has officially become...
Oh, we've got to get the drum roll again. Here we go, officially become... an Adobe Education Leader. That kind of worked. Let's give him a big crowd cheer. I think that deserves a big round of applause. Well done, Paul.
Thank you.
That's pretty exciting, isn't it, Paul?
Oh, it's tremendous news. Thank you very much to everybody for that recognition. Really appreciate it.
And it all became official overnight, I believe. So this is fresh news off the press.
Absolutely.
Michael, can you tell us about what you'll be presenting during the Deeper Dive event?
Sure, Tim. Well, I've presented on this channel before, and I was using Adobe InDesign then as well, but more of a print kind of idea then, introducing Adobe InDesign. It is actually my favorite Adobe application. And but this year I've been getting a whole lot more into the interactivity side of Adobe InDesign. I've actually just finished a big project with my Year 11 multimedia class. And so, yeah, tonight I'm just going to share the different kind of elements, I guess, you can create with interactivity with InDesign, and also how to kind of export it to get the best features, I guess, for your end audience. So that's what I'm hoping to get through tonight.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
And Paul, what are you going to be presenting at the Deeper Dive event this evening?
Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Actually, a question Tim raised when I had an interview a few weeks back. The topic today is a model for one-to-one creative education in a mass delivery, grades-based school or paradigm, and how we can actually deliver those things.
Yep, that's kind of like the ideal, isn't it, to try and be able to reach that ideal. So I'm looking forward to what you have to share. Every time you share, Paul, it's very thought-provoking. So let's look forward to that. Michael, let's get back to Adobe Max, because it's only a month away. Well, a little bit more than a month away. But tell us, you actually were there in Los Angeles in 2018. Tell us about your Adobe Max experience.
I was. Yeah, I got to hang out in LA with yourself, Tim, and Jerry, customer service extraordinaire Jerry. He definitely looked after me while we were there for the week. And just got to enjoy, I guess, everything Adobe. The conference was incredible. Just lots of great speakers, lots of I guess, different events, breakouts that you can go to learn new skills. But, you're there with 15,000 other creatives who just live and breathe Adobe. And it was just so much fun. And then the big concert and the great food, and all the free merch, so much free merch. It's awesome.
Mark, I think we might actually play a little video of you in Los Angeles in case people are thinking that you're just making this all up. Let's get some proof happening. Well, welcome to Adobe Max in Los Angeles. We've just come out of the general session. What did you think of it?
Oh, incredible. Just seeing the amazing things that Adobe's doing, especially the new stuff that like the Gemini and Aero was just amazing.
What other sort of highlights did you find?
Highlights of just being around so many other creatives, just seeing the atmosphere, just the excitement of just people being here, doing what they love and using the tools, just seeing the tools that they love, and I guess just seeing the developments and changes in those tools, and just I guess thinking ahead to how that's going to impact on them.
Well, let's think about what we actually did see. 14,000 creatives all in the one space. The buzz was just incredible. We saw a new version of Photoshop being launched today. Tell us about that.
Photoshop for iPad. It looks amazing to have the power of Photoshop, power of desktop Photoshop, in the convenience of having it on the iPad. So you can use Photoshop on the go. Amazing.
We also saw the official launch of Premiere Rush. So tell us about what you thought of that.
Well, I do a little bit of video, and I use Premiere. So I guess looking at Premiere Rush, it's a way of getting fantastic professional results, but really, really quickly. So just using, I guess, the whole power of Adobe Sensei just to quickly bring different clips together with graphics, with audio, and then outputting to all sorts of different mediums so quickly and easily. Just amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? So you were very interested in Project Aero. Tell the audience who may not know about it what Project Aero is.
Well, Project Aero is, I guess, Adobe's augmented reality platform. So it's a way of bringing Photoshop documents or dimension projects and having them sitting there in the world to look at, to visualize, so 360 objects. But the amazing thing was a Photoshop file, being able to actually immerse yourself inside the layers of a Photoshop file was just incredible.
Today at the general session, we learned about so many different updates to all of our products pretty much. It was an incredibly amazing session. And yet this is just the first part of Adobe Max. We had our pre-conferences yesterday, which were awesome. We went to the Educators Day and to Adobe EduMax. That was amazing as well. We're looking forward to another couple of days of incredible inspiration. Thanks for joining me today. Any last minute words?
I'm just anticipating what's to come. This is just the first morning of 3 days of just amazingness.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, there you go, Michael. Bring back some good memories.
That was great.
We did a couple of videos that year with you, and what I'm going to do is, while Erin has a quick chat with Paul, I'm going to bring up a banner that gives people links to be able to discover where those videos are.
Sure. So while Tim's doing that, Paul, congratulations again on becoming an Adobe Education Leader. Could you share with us what it means to you?
I'm personally very, very humbled, to be fair. It's, I guess, the summation of about 8 years of association with Adobe myself, working very closely with the team on a number of angles, but very humbled. Humbled because there's just so many great educators in the entire PLD program that you've got running, the professional program you've got running. But to be part of the Education Leaders thing is just going to be tremendous from a very selfish learning point of view, and taking back all of their ideas and applying them in our New Zealand context. Just a great privilege, to be fair. So deeply moved, very appreciative, and just can't wait to really savor the whole experience and get going.
Oh, we've got a ticker tape of that. I forgot. Thank you very much, Jerry. Paul, I guess the journey of you becoming an Adobe Education Leader started a few years ago, and one of the videos we did at the school that you were working at the time is also available at Create EDU TV. If you dig deep into it, it was a while ago. So congratulations, and it's great to have you as the highest level of our leadership community.
I really appreciate it. Thank Tim. Thank you very much.
Terrific.
Thanks, Paul.
Now, 2 weeks ago, we did a special tribute to Sir Ken Robinson, and I'm still getting emails about it and people saying how great it was. So congratulations, everyone who was involved in putting that together. It was a privilege. And then I was asked only a week ago to write a blog, a tribute to Sir Ken for Digital Learning and Teaching Victoria, and they've given me a few weeks to put it together. So in the process of putting that together, I re-watched again his 2006 TED Talk. I must have seen it 50 times now since 2006 when I first saw it. And I'd sort of forgotten just how much of an impact it had on me as a teacher at the time when I first saw it. It really did change my thinking. One of the things that I still remember him saying and watched again recently was the concept of something that we just do as teachers without even thinking about it, because we've done it for 120 years, and that is have our students do mathematics at least 4 or 5 times a week. Nearly every day they do maths, and nearly every day they do English. And yet what Sir Ken was saying in the TED Talk was why. He actually challenged that concept. I've never challenged it. I was a maths teacher as a primary teacher for 5 years, and every day I had to do maths because it was part of the curriculum. It was expected to do. I never really challenged the idea that doing maths every day might be taking time away from doing other things that could be just as important as doing mathematics. And in the case of Sir Ken's presentation, he was talking about dance. Why don't they do dance every day? We have bodies, he said. It's very amusing the way he says it, but it really challenged my thinking. And it's a very controversial thing to say, but just maybe it might stimulate a little bit of conversation in the chat. If you want to go to your comments and give us some of your thoughts. Maybe there's some maths teachers who would really like to defend how important it is to have maths every day and how important it is to do English every day. I just want to get some opinions from the people in the room. Let's start with Mike. What are your thoughts?
Oh, look, I think every subject is important, and there's lots of different things to learn. So yeah, I really see his point. I think perhaps there's a way that we can do more integration of subjects together rather than just standalone mathematics, for example. If we push that together with geography and some kind of creative arts, then maybe that's where we need to be looking at, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's certainly what we were taught. Yeah, we were taught that as a primary teacher. I spent 4 years training to be a primary school teacher, and virtually every day of those 4 years was focused on integrating the curriculum, because that's exactly what you do as a primary teacher. And yet when I became a secondary teacher, it was like a totally foreign concept as a secondary teacher. Paul, what's your experience? What are your thoughts?
Well, hopefully I'm going to, in the deep dive, probably going to hit the nail on the head, hopefully, around the cross-curricular model that might be applicable, and that is to bring in multi-subjects into a real-world learning experience and actually applying maths or English or sciences for a purpose. And if it's got purpose, you get deep engagement. And if you get deep engagement, you get lifelong learning and motivation, but you also get an experiential learning model. So I think those things are really powerful and really timely. And for New Zealand's sake at the moment, we've just taken another hit on the World Innovation and Creativity Rankings. So I think it's really important we shift direction now and look at creative education in the lens of multi-subject, multi-integrated, purposeful learning. So great topic, Tim.
Erin, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that, integration is absolutely key. I mean, dance is an incredibly good example. Dance, music, all of them have a foundation of mathematical embedded learning in them. You can't, you can make music without being completely cognizant of the fact that you're using mathematics and calculating rhythm and duration and harmonies. And, when it comes to dancing, you're also looking at spatial awareness. Like, there's so much embedded mathematics in those things that being able to experience them in a stimulating way, I think, is at the core of meaningful learning.
Yeah. Folks, it was great to get a couple of comments there. It would be nice to have some more. We might be able to have a bit more of a chat about it during the Deeper Dive event, and I encourage you to throw in your comments and chats. I know we're recording this and so on, but it is something that's worth challenging. I know when I was at school, I wasn't particularly good at maths, and when I had to do it every day, I got more and more disengaged with going to school and the education process. And it was a struggle. I mean, if it wasn't for sport and some of the things that I really loved doing, I would have struggled to complete my schooling, I think. And now I've done 4 degrees, and it's not because of having a mathematical brain. It's because I was able to adapt it. And I just wonder how many students are put off from education because they're forced to do subjects that they just really don't engage with. But it's a topic we'll probably continue talking about. Michael and Paul, thank you so much for your time today. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Deeper Dive event very soon. But Erin, we've got a few announcements we need to make.
We do indeed, Tim. The Global Adobe and Education team recently launched the Adobe Creative Educators Program.
This is a program for all educators in all curriculum areas. You don't have to be an Adobe expert to be in this program.
So please hover your camera over the QR code or type the link to find out more about the 1-hour Creativity for All course on the Adobe Education Exchange. It's an entry requirement to the Adobe Creative Educators Program. And do we have time for the video, Tim?
I think so. We haven't played it for a few weeks, so let's jump into it.
Creativity is a vital and teachable skill for all our students. With the Adobe Creative Educator Program, start your professional learning journey to develop, nurture, and sustain creativity for the next generation. When you start the Creativity for All Level 1 course, you'll explore how to define creativity and recognize it in your students. You'll also learn from other creative educators and see examples of how they support creativity in their classes and courses around the world.
And creativity is the driving force that is going to make any young person right now much more valuable.
After you complete this 1-hour course, we are excited to welcome you into our Adobe Creative Educator community. Here, you can connect and share with a global community of creative educators and earn professional development badges along the way. Plus, you'll have access to educational resources and events that are exclusive to our community. Start your journey today with the Creativity for All course experience.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Click the link in the description below to explore.
I think we can avoid that part of it. The 2020 Apac Adobe Education Summit is happening during the September holidays between September 29 and October 1. If you haven't already, make sure you register your interest to be involved via the link or the QR code on this slide. We currently have about 200 teachers registered, which is wonderful. We will be sharing some more information about the summit during the Deeper Dive show.
If you're on Facebook and are not already a member of the Australasian Adobe Education Community Facebook group, please join using the link facebook.com/groups/AUSAEL. It's a great way to keep regularly involved with Adobe in education.
Well, folks, we're about to move into the Blue Jeans room, so a very special thank you to Michael and for Paul for being part of this chat, and for Erin and Jerry in the background. We have got a little exit video to play for you, but we encourage you all to jump into. Let's bring up the link now, Jerry, just to make sure everyone's fully aware of it. It's bluejeans.com/kitchen@Adobe. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for being part of this week's Inject Creativity Live Chat-show. We hope you enjoyed it and found it edutaining. It's now time to switch over to Blue Jeans via bluejeans.com/ kitchen.adobe for the Deeper Dive show, which is just about to start. See you there.
Bye.